Hi, this is Rudy Jones of PalmettoStateBaseball.com. Welcome to the South Carolina College Baseball Recap for Sunday, April the 19th. Sorry I'm a little late getting things done. I had to go to an extra meeting at church today and just kind of got thrown behind, but I'm going to get caught up here before too much longer. But anyway, there were 16 games involving state teams played on Sunday. Let's take a look at some of the action. Over in Rock Hill, exciting finale to that USC Upstate Winthrop series. Upstate got up to a 5-1 lead. They were leading 5-2 going to the bottom of the ninth. Winthrop got a 2-run homer by Colin Crowley to tie it up, send it extra innings. Then Chaz Grosington singled in a run in the 10th, and the Eagles won the game 6-5 to complete a sweep of that Big South Conference series. Three really good games, 3-1 in Game 1, 4-3 in Game 2. Winthrop turned a double play to end it. And then this 6-5 win on Sunday. Winthrop is now 27-13 overall, 10-2 in the Big South. That allowed them to stay ahead of High Point in the Big South Conference standings. And Upstate fell to 19-22 overall, 8-10 in the Big South. For Winthrop, Colby McNeely went 4 innings of shutout baseball to keep USC Upstate at bay and give the Eagles a chance to catch up. He struck out 2. He did not allow a run. Elsewhere, Nico Braney and Lucas Manning hit 2 home runs apiece, and Ben Timbley hit a grand slam, and Wofford run-ruled UNC Asheville for the 3rd straight day. Today's score was 20-9. They completed a series sweep, obviously, with 3 run-rule wins. The Terriers are now 29-11 overall. They've won 8 straight games. UNC Asheville fell to 16-24. For the Terriers, Lucas Manning, in addition to his 2 homers, had a triple, scored 3 runs, and drove in 4. Wofford playing awfully good right now. Also, down in Columbia, number 17, Mississippi State scored an unearned run in the 11th inning and beat South Carolina 4-3 to sweep that SEC series. Talmadge Lecroy had 2 singles, a walk, and an RBI for the Gamecocks, who fell to 19-22 overall, 5-13 in the SEC. Mississippi State's 30-10 and 10-8. Maddox Webb, a former Citadel pitcher, got the win for the Bulldogs in the game today. Mentioned Lecroy. He almost hit a 3-run homer in the 8th inning. It was off basically the top of the left field wall. The wind apparently was blowing in for much of the day, but he didn't do it, and so Carolina lost. USC struck out 12 more times today, and they struck out 44 times in 3 games in the series. You're not going to win many games like that. Down in Conway, Georgia State scored 6 runs in the 8th inning on 2 hits, 3 hit batsmen, 2 walks, and 2 stolen bases, and knocked off Coastal Carolina by a score of 11-5 to salvage the final game of that Sun Belt Conference series. The Panthers are now 20-21 overall, 8-10 in the Sun Belt. Coastal fell to 28-11 and 15-3. For Coastal, Taylor Jordan had a home run. He was hit by pitch, scored 2 runs, and drove in 2 runs. A 7-run second inning put USC Sumter in charge, and the Fire Ants won a series over Florence Darlington Tech, taking Sunday's game by run rule fashion, 12-2. The Fire Ants are now 29-18 overall, 14-12 in Region 10. Florence Darlington Tech fell to 42-10 and 20-7. Carew Bates hit 2 home runs, and Ryan Pikatuski hit a homer and drove in 3 runs for the Fire Ants. With that loss, Florence Darlington Tech was knocked out of contention for the regular season championship. Gaston College clinched the regular season championship and the top seed for the Region 10 tournament with a couple of wins today. I'll get into that here in just a minute. Jeb Britt pitched a complete game for the Fire Ants, by the way, in a 5-inning complete game. I mentioned Gaston College. They won 2 games over USC Salkehatchie. Game 1 score was 17-0 in 5 innings. Game 2 score was 28-2 in 5 innings. The Rhinos are now 45, make it 46-3 overall, 24-3 in Region 10. And like I say, they won the region championship, a regular season, and top seed for the tournament. Salkehatchie fell to 3-44 and 1-25. For the Indians in Game 1, Zaire Hernandez had a single. They only had, I think, 3 singles. And in Game 2, Alex Morgan had a single and a home run for the Indians. Also on Sunday, Carson Bryant pitched 4 innings and Cade Myers pitched 5 innings. And William & Mary was shut out by College of Charleston by a score of 4-0 in the rubber game of that Coastal Athletic Association series. The Cougars are now 19-20 overall, 10-8 in the conference. And William & Mary fell to 16-22 and 7-11. For the College today, Dylan Johnson was 2 for 3 with a walk, a stolen base, a run scored, and an RBI, and he threw out another base runner. He's now thrown out 51 would-be base stealers. That's by far the school record for a career. He's doing pretty good for the Cougars, I must say. Also on Sunday, Charleston Southern took the lead with an unearned run in the bottom of the 8th, and they held on to salvage the series finale against High Point in the Big South Conference. Final score was 4-3. The Buccaneers fell behind but rallied to tie it, then took the lead. The Charleston Southern is now, got to find it, 22-16 overall, 7-8 in the Big South, and High Point fell to 26-13 and 11-4. The Panthers are in second place behind Winthrop in the standings. Elsewhere, Lander completed a sweep of USC Beaufort with yet another run rule win. They had 3 run rule wins this weekend. Today's game score was 18-5. For the Bearcats, Oliver Zahn was 4 for 5 with a double, 2 runs scored, 2 stolen bases, and 3 RBI. Lander is now 27-18 overall, 20-10 in the Peach Belt. USC Beaufort fell to 13-31 and 4-23. And Lander has now won 5 straight games. I just want to make sure I got that correct. Jonathan Olmedo for Benedict had a great game today as the Tigers run rule Tuskegee 20-10 to complete a series sweep. Listen to what Olmedo did. He was 3 for 4 with 2 walks, 2 runs scored, 3 RBI, and a stolen base. But yet there's more. He also pitched. He got the win, struck out 7 in 2 2/3 innings of relief for the Tigers, who again completed a sweep in that series. Benedict's now 19-10 overall, 17-10 in the SIAC. Tuskegee fell to 11-29 and 8-20. Also in Region 10, USC Union completed a sweep of USC Lancaster. Sunday's score was 12-3 in 8 innings. Region 10 has a run rule. 8-run rule after a certain point in the game, and the Bantams pulled that off today. Union is now 28-19 overall, 11-15 in the conference, and Lancaster fell to 22-23 overall and 9-17 in the conference. So Union's got a 2-game lead over Lancaster for 5th place. For 4th place with 1 weekend remaining. USC Aiken built a 6-run lead after 3.5 innings and held off Georgia College. The final score was 8-6 in that Peach Belt Conference Series. For the Pacers, they're now 33-13, 19-8 in the Peach Belt, and Georgia College is 18-25 and 11-16. For Aiken, Salvatore Lamo was 2 for 5 with 2 runs scored, 2 RBI, and 2 stolen bases. East Tennessee State took the rubber game of a series with the Citadel with 4 runs in the 8th to invoke the 10-run rule. Final score was 12-1. They got a 3-run homer to cap the game there to end it. The Buccaneers are now 25-12 overall, 8-4 in the SoCon. The Citadel fell to 18-21 and 4-8. For the Citadel in the game today, Michael Gibson was 2 for 3 with a double and a run scored. Presbyterian scored 5 runs in the 8th to tie the score with Amon Dewberry hitting a 2-run homer to match it up at 5-5. But Longwood scored a run in the bottom of the 8th and held on to win by a score of 6-5 to win that Big South Conference Series 2-1. The Blue Hose fell to 9-32, 5-10 in the Big South. Longwood improved to 23-17 and 8-7. For the Blue Hose, as I mentioned, Dewberry had a 2-run homer. He also singled today. And in the final game involving a state team on Sunday, Flagler completed a sweep of Claflin with a 23-3 run rule win in the Peach Belt Conference. Flagler improved to 30-14 overall, 17-10 in the Peach Belt. Claflin fell to 4-33 and 1-26. Well, that's it for the state games. How about outside the state in the ACC? Number 2, Georgia Tech salvaged the series finale at number 3, North Carolina, with a 5-2 win. That allowed the Yellow Jackets to move back into sole control sole control first place in the ACC. Number 6, Florida State completed a sweep of Notre Dame, 6-4. NC State avoided being swept by Wake Forest by beating the Demon Deacs 6-5 on Sunday. Stanford took the series finale against Miami 14-6 to avoid a sweep. Louisville avoided a sweep with an 8-5 win over California, and Virginia Tech won the rubber game of the series with Pitt 6-5. So, how about the ACC standings? As I mentioned, Tech is in first place at 16-5. UNC is at 15-6. Boston College, which completed its series on Saturday with a sweep of Duke, is at 14-7. They're 2 games out of first, obviously. Next up is Florida State at 12-6. Virginia at 12-9. Miami at 10-8. Wake Forest is 11-10. NC State's at 9-9. Virginia Tech is at 9-12. Pitt, Stanford, and Louisville are all at 7-11. Duke is at 8-13. Clemson is at 6-12. California is at 6-12. And Notre Dame is at 7-14. So basically, it's a 3-way tie for 14th place in the ACC that the Tigers are in. Of course, they had Sunday off after completing their series against Virginia on Saturday. In the SEC, Tennessee avoided a sweep by beating number 25 Ole Miss 13-5. Number 10 Texas A&M completed a sweep of LSU 5-2. Number 11 Alabama took the finale against Texas by a score of 2-1. Texas is number 4. Number 14 Oklahoma wrapped up a series sweep of Missouri 8-4. And Vanderbilt took the series finale at Kentucky 13-6. So what about the SEC standings? Georgia, which finished its series against Arkansas on Saturday, is now at 13-5. Half game back is Texas A&M at 12-5. They lost a half game. That half game they lost was by the rain out against Texas last Sunday night. Texas is a game and a half back at 11-6. Then we have Auburn, Florida, Mississippi State, Oklahoma, and Ole Miss all at 10-8. Alabama, Arkansas, and Vandy are at 9-9. Kentucky is at 8-10, as is Tennessee. LSU, the defending national champion, is now 6-12 in the SEC. South Carolina is 5-13, and Missouri is 3-15. That's it for the South Carolina College Baseball recap for Sunday, April the 19th. There are no state games on the schedule for Monday. In a little while, I'm going to be recording That Was the Week That Was in South Carolina College Baseball for this past week. I'll have the team of the week, the updated team rankings, vibes, polls, standings, things like that. And I hope you'll look out for that. I'll hope to get it filed before midnight anyway. But anyway, you can always follow me at PalmettoStateBaseball.com on the internet. My X account is Palmetto Base. You can email me at rudyjones@PalmettoStateBaseball.com. I would love to hear from you, hear what you think about what I'm doing with college baseball in South Carolina. If you think it's a travesty, hey, let me know that too. I get very little, if any, feedback, and I just want to know if anybody's taking the time to listen to what I'm trying to do. But anyway, I hope you have a great night. Again, this is Rudy Jones from PalmettoStateBaseball.com. Good night. Jesus loves you.